Well, let's dive back into Epic because they just lost another lawsuit. They're settling this lawsuit, but this time it isn't in the States, it's in Canada. Out of all places, it's very surprising to hear that a Canadian court of law or a Canadian story or class action actually took down Epic in a settlement. Very small settlement of $2.75 million. Well, considering the size of our population, that's actually quite a big settlement, seeing down in the States they lost almost $500 million in a previous video. This time for Epic, it's not that it's Fortnite, it's also including Rocket League. Before I get into the full details on this, do hit the like, subscribe, all those fun things. Share this out there. If you know someone that actually played Rocket League or Fortnite, bought loot boxes, this is the video you need to share with them. But this is going to show another lawsuit and another settlement that Epic Games is paying out. They are in serious trouble if this is the case. They're paying out multiple lawsuits now. They've just laid off over 16% of their workforce. There is trouble brewing at Epic Games. Now, this is CTV News. This is a Canadian news website. I caught word of this only a couple hours ago that this was posted, so I'm catching word of this very, very freshly. Epic Games pays a $2.7 million in class action over in-game loot boxes purchases in Fortnite and Rocket League. Loot boxes, I am not surprised. Now, with the dark patterns that we heard about with Epic Games in the previous videos that I've covered, this one in particular is now going to loot boxes. And what was going on is they would use dark patterns, which is they would have one key that would be highlighted and the other one not, or it would be a different color. It would want you to click that button, in this case, to buy a loot box. And now they're having to settle $2.75 million in a Canadian class action settlement. Now, I'm guessing this is Canadian funds, so it take off about 40% for the Americans, so it's not really that big of one, but this is a big deal because this is another knock at Epic Games. Now, they settled it. They don't say that they did anything wrong, but consumer protection is what is this about. The initial lawsuit alleged that Epic Games broke various consumer protection laws by offering so-called loot boxes in popular video games Rocket League and Fortnite. Loot boxes have been something I've covered on the channel off and on. They're going to get regulated very strongly, but now in this case, where loot boxes are going to be seen as a consumer problem, especially here in Canada. If you guys remember my talk about the One Ring, where Magic the Gathering, they printed a single card that was found in Canada, was also very suspect that it was an illegal lottery in that case. This kind of falls under the same idea. Now, a typical form of video game monetization, loot boxes allow gamers to use real money to pay for random digital items like weapons and outfits. Now, this isn't a typical thing. It's not, loot boxes don't necessarily mean they're a typical thing, because in a lot of cases you can just buy the cosmetics that you want and not have to go through a loot box to get it. The difference with the loot box is it's a lottery. It has the odds to gain something that is rare or something that is more substantial. Also, if you look at Magic the Gathering Arena with Wizards of the Coast, they have their booster packs, and those booster packs would fall under a loot box because of the rarity. Now, there is a little bit different of a scenario with Magic the Gathering. Once you open X amount of these cards, you will complete a set, where with loot boxes, it's always going to be that rare chance. It is so rare in some circumstances that you're looking at like $1 million hit if you hit some of these skins or some of these items in certain games. I don't think Rocket League or Fortnite are sellable loot box items, unlike some other games out there. I think it's Call of Duty or CS or Counter-Strike. I can't remember which one is which for the loot box in that sense. but some of these are detrimental to playing a game. And in this case, the practice has come under fire, particularly from parents who have racked up large credit card bills while their children make several in-game purchases without permission in hopes for acquiring rare items. The class action was certified by the Supreme Court of British Columbia. By agreeing to the settlement, Epic Games released itself from all claims raised in legal proceedings. So, we're going to pay it out, but we're going to walk away from any wrongdoing this may have caused. Because of that, it doesn't necessarily set a precedent. However, the settlement will set a precedent in the future. So I think people that are sitting there with loot boxes in their video games need to take a step back and be very wary of continuing this practice. Participants in the class action began receiving payments of up to $25 this week. Lawyers in the class action will receive up to 25% of the settlement. This is a drop in the bucket. This is it's kind of a slap in the face. Now, yes, you can gain a $25 stipend or a $25 award for purchasing loot boxes. This is anyone that has purchased a loot box. I believe it's from 2017 to 2019 in Fortnite, from 2016 to 2019 in Rocket League. This is also eligible, obviously, for the Guardians of Gamers. So any parent's credit card, pretty much, that got used for this, they'll be able to do that. Now, honestly, this just shows how dirty and scummy Epic Games really is. They're losing another lawsuit here, or they're settling another lawsuit. This is the second one in a matter of weeks. One in Canada, one in the States. They're getting rid of 16% of their workforce because they're paying this money out through the nose for all these things. There's something seriously wrong going on at Epic, and I think this is just the start of a series of events where Epic may be in trouble. The payment of the settlement amounts is not a admission of liability, wrongdoing, or fault by the defendants. A notice proposed settlement claims. Any remaining funds after distribution of eligible class members of payment expenses will be donated to the Law Foundation of British Columbia and one or more charitable organizations whose mission relates to promoting the well-being of those who consume video games, as agreed by the parties and subject to the approval of the court. So before they get donated, they have to seek through the court and say, listen, we'd like to, whatever's left, throw it to the stuff that's dealing with video games. That's a good thing. That means the courts are going to be in there. It means things are going to move along in that sense. Well, this is Canada. This is your Canadian story this week, apparently, on top of things that are going on in Canada. We've gone completely off the rail up here in Canada, but this is some good news for gamers alike. Maybe you can get a $25 award from Epic. You know, $25 isn't really going to go much, especially if you have thousands that got racked up on a credit card bill trying to open up a loot box. I think but I think this class action is just the start. The dominoes are starting to fall around Epic Games, and we're going to see more of this in the near future. I've been your proud Canadian Phoenix Cinder Shadow. I'm signing off here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.